was under the impression that all the fans were allowed to participate in this match. That was not the case. They had about 20 hand-picked fans or so to participate in this match who all came out, got to walk down, stand around. They basically lumberjacked the match, but they lumberjacked the match with leather belt straps that they were allowed to use to pelt, whack, smack, hit any opponent, any of the two wrestlers involved that they wanted to, should they, end up outside of the ring. Of course, Drago is a very babyface. He's dressed up as a dragon. His costume's amazing. He's a real little guy. And Hernandez is very much a heel. He's a big, tatted up dude that looks like he's done plenty of time in prison, but he's cool. He's got a huge element of cool to him as well. But 100% heel, so super hated, by everyone in the crowd. Which is good. That's him doing his job. And so that's the only guy that got hit in the match. But so that was the last match of the night, and just the Believers with their backlashing of the belts to Hernandez every time he got out of the ring was just too much for Hernandez. And Drago ended up winning the match. That was all three matches were between 4 to 5 stars, if you go on a 5-star scale. And that's every match, every episode of that show. All right. So that gets us caught up from last week. Now let's preview the 5 matches that will take up the 2 hours on this week. And then we'll close up the last little bit of wrestling news and get on to, like I said, quote-unquote, real sports. I say that with air quotations every time as sarcastically as possible. I hope you notice. All right. So, tonight on the 2-hour 5-match extravaganza that is going to be Ultima Lucha. The first match is featuring 2 former WWE superstars, and it is going to be fantastic, man. I can't wait for this. Johnny Mundo, formerly known as John Morrison of the WWE, one of my all-time favorites, that I never really got a chance to enjoy because I wasn't in at the time. I wasn't really into wrestling at the time that he was in, and he was only there for a short-lived time, and they used him so improperly, and just, I see where he grew frustrated with his role in the company and looked to go do other things in his life. But he will be taking on Alberto El Patron, formerly Alberto Del Rio, of more recent WWE fame and accomplishment. That's their first of the 5 matches. Are you kidding me? So, look for this match to be 20 to 30 minutes long. All 5 of these matches are going to be 20 to 30 minutes long. Just amazing. And they take as little of commercial breaks as possible. It's not like WWE where the second a match starts, you've got 1 or 2 minutes, and then, we're going to commercial break. No, they do commercial. They try to show, on a normal 1-hour episode, they will not take a commercial break during a match. The only time I've ever seen them take a commercial, I think twice I've seen episodes where they actually take a commercial break during a match just because the match is that long. Generally, they will go the 10, 15 minutes, maybe even up to 20, without showing a commercial and just airing the whole match. It's just one of the other things that makes Lucha Underground by far the best wrestling promotion and show on for wrestling fans right now. But anyway, back to the basics on the first match here. Johnny is the bad guy. Alberto is the good guy. or if you use the industry terms that we do sometimes here on the show, Alberto would be the babyface and Johnny would be the heel. Their feud and storyline building up to this has been long and very well laid out and very well prolonged over many, many episodes here. One of the highlights being Johnny throwing Alberto through the office window of the Vince McMahon type character on the show. And him dragging Alberto out all bloody and stuff, and Alberto being out of action for just a little while afterwards. Very a la the Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty barbershop through the glass thing, kind of. But it was great. And so look for that match to be awesome. One of my top 5 matches that I've seen on Lucha Underground on any episode was the only episode that didn't have multiple matches that I've seen. Most episodes have 3 matches, sometimes 4, occasionally 2. But I'd watched an episode that just had 1 match. It was a 60-minute Iron Man match between Johnny Mundo, as I said, formerly John Morrison, or Johnny Nitro of the WWE, versus the champ Prince Puma. It was incredible. This guy is still, Johnny Mundo, as he goes by now, is still every bit on top of his game. And Alberto El Patron is still on top of his game as well. So look for that to be an amazing match. That could go totally either way. Alberto does have some type of title. I'm not sure if it's on the line or not. I don't even know if it's an official title or if it's kind of a self-appointed, made-up title like the $1 Million Man's title, for example, or if it is just their minor title, a la like the Intercontinental Championship. I'm not sure on that. But he does have some kind of belt. Not sure if that will be on the line at all tonight. If it is, I guess I would think then maybe that gives Johnny Mundo a better chance of winning. If it's not, then I definitely think they would open the show with a babyface winning to get the crowd really going. But the crowd's always awesome there anyway. They don't have to work very hard to do that. But that's the first match, and then I'm not sure what the order is on the next couple matches, but I believe the next match of the night will be the 7-competitor match. Okay, it is officially called the Gift of the Gods match, and it features the competitors Bengala, Jack Evans, Phoenix, King Cuerno, Sexy Star, Aerostar, and Big Rick. Was that 7 people? Did I just name 7 people? I'm pretty sure I just named 7 people. Anyway, yes, it's 7 people. Anyway, this is basically their version of the Money in the Bank ladder match. I am not sure if they are actually going to have the prize hanging above the ring, and you need to climb a ladder to win it or not. I'm not sure. I apologize for not knowing more about the match stipulation on that match. But like I said, basically the winner of that match gets a belt that gives them a title shot anytime they want with a week's notice. They can't just cash it in like a Money in the Bank briefcase right then and there on the spot, as Dario Cueto, who is the show's Vince McMahon type character, likes to promote his matches. So with 1 week's notice, in 1 week upon declaring you're using it, you get your title shot. Now, also where it's a little different, and I feel that this will come into play, by the way, before it is used, is that if it is not used within, whatever Dario Cueto determines is a, fair amount of time, fairly quickly, then you have to defend it. And so I think that is going to at least come into play before it is ever officially, cashed in, for lack of a better term. But so that is, I believe that will be the second match. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if the one female in the match, Sexy Star, ended up winning it. I think she is your second best bet to win the match. However, I think Phoenix, your more traditional Rey Mysterio type of lucha wrestler, I believe that he will win it. Big Rick would be would have somewhat of a chance as the big bad guy. King Cuerno has a slight chance. Aerostar has a slight chance. Jack Evans has basically no chance, and Bengala has no chance. So there's your preview on that match. And then I believe after that, or possibly the second match, one or the other, we will have the Blue Demon Jr. versus Tejano in the Battle for Mexico. That one should be very physical. Definitely expect outside interference from other bad guys against Tejano. Tejano is the bad guy. Tejano is the baby face in that one. Excuse me. Blue Demon Jr. is the jealous bad guy. That'll be a great match. Oh yeah, by the way, let's go down back to the Gift of the Gods match quick. Bengala is a jobber baby face. It's got some pretty cool attire though. It's out there. Jack Evans is a jobber heel that has some awesome, amazing moves. Phoenix is the more, top of these are all kind of mid-carders and bottom-carders. Phoenix is more the top of the baby faces on this list. King Cuerno would be a mid-level heel on this list. Sexy Star, like I said, the female, would be a top mid-card level. Babyface on here. Aerostar would be again, kind of a jobber babyface on here. And Big Rick, would be, of one of the more heel, respectable heels in the match. So there's that one. But yeah, sorry I didn't throw that in earlier. But yeah, as I said, Blue Demon Jr. in the next match then is your heel. And like I said, expect more people, maybe some people from Chavo Guerrero and his camp, or Daivari, or whoever, to come out and attack Tejano. So I don't know. Look, that's my predictions for that match. I don't know how it's going to end, but that's what I think you can expect there. Just shenanigans, plenty of outside interference shenanigans. And then in what I believe will be the match before the main event, we have the commentator on Lucha Underground, Vampiro, coming out of retirement. Ian Hodgkinson, yes, that's right, Ian Hodgkinson is his real name, and they've actually been using that in some of the promos. But he will be taking on the insanely evil-ish, bad guy, Pentagon Jr., who I believe last week I referred to as, making Undertaker and Bray Wyatt seem like friendly Sesame Street characters. I know Sesame Street probably dates me. But whatever. It's out there. Deal with it. But that's where this Pentagon Jr. guy, he really is. He's on a whole nother level with his evil, scary promos. And he has successfully provoked Vampiro into this fight. He's got a master. Pentagon Jr. does. He's got like an evil master. It's very Mortal Kombat-ish. Their characters and storylines, somewhat. But it's great stuff. It's really, really good stuff. And Vampiro is, like I said earlier, an all-time legend, especially of the modern era in the Lucha Libre world. So it'll be exciting for casual fans like myself who never got to watch his career. A chance to see that, as well as all the people who followed him, and that place is just going to go nuts for him, and that match is going to be a great match. Pentagon Jr. is the breaker of bones, and he he is the current wrestler, and so I think that match will end badly for Vampiro. but he will be okay by the time to